Hey guys, what about one story a day to light up our day ahead? Let's have a journey together with 365 modern and traditional stories, published by DC Canada Education Publishing. And here we are. Let's enjoy our 10 perfectly exciting extracts from the series of students at PT4 at Thiên Phụng Language Center. Are you ready? Let's start!
Butterflies and Bird Song, based on Native American. One day in late summer, a magic man was passing through a village. It was a wonderful sunny day. Soon it will be winter, thought the man. It will be cold and rain, everyone will be sad. But the man had a plan. He gathered all the beautiful things of the world and put them into a magic bag. He collected a rolling rays of sunshine, the rain from leaves of the trees, the red blue of the summer sky, and the flower of many colors. He heard the birds singing, so he added all their wonderful songs to the bag too. Then when he opened the bag, out flew the most beautiful creature the world had ever seen, butterflies. The birds agreed that butterflies were beautiful. They would help the people remember the beauty of the world, even during dark, cold winters. But the birds asked the man to give them back their songs. These belong to us. They cried. Butterflies are still beautiful without our songs, the man agreed. And so, from that time on, butterflies were silent and beautiful.
There were three young girls who lived in a small town. They were best friends. Each girl had a dream about the future. The girl whose family's were rich said that she would never be happy until she was beautiful. The second girl was beautiful, but she said that she would not be very happy until she was rich. The third girl, who was plain and quite poor, said that she was happy now, even though she had nothing, but she said that she would be happier if all the people around her were happy. The other two laughed at the girl for her simple way of thinking. The three to separate growth to suppose their dreams. The first two girls went to big cities, trying to find happiness. The third girl spent her 20s in the little town, having children with disabilities. She met a nice man, and they soon married. They had many children, and together they worked with disabled kids. Years later, the girl received a call from her old friends, whom she had not seen for many years. She wanted to hear all about their life. When they met, the rich girl had so much makeup that it was hard to recognize her. She explained that she had surgery on her face to make her beautiful, but the surgery had left scars. She was terribly unhappy. The second girl, who was very beautiful, had married a wealthy man, but he lost all of his money in the final show recess, so she left him and now she was alone and unhappy. When the third girl told them about her simple life, the other two began to cry. They recalled that she had not wished for anything. They were envious and embarrassed, for they had laughed at her because she lacked big dreams. The third girl was not only smart, but also very kind. She helped them learn to be happy with what they had. They spent the rest of their life as friends, always remembering that happiness doesn't come from the outside, but rather from somewhere deep inside a person's heart.
Mr. Slow and Mr. Fast. Mr. Slow and Mr. Fast are friends, but they are not the same. Mr. Slow always takes his time. He talks slowly. He works slowly. He even takes a long time to eat. Mr. Slow is really slow. Mr. Fast is the opposite. He is always in a hurry. He talks fast. He works fast. He even rushes when he eats. Mr. Fast is really fast. One day, the two men went to a restaurant. As usual, Mr. Fast ordered his food right away. Mr. Slow took a long time to decide what he wanted. Mr. Fast had finished eating before Mr. Slow even got his meal. Still, Mr. Fast always waited for his friend. "Take your time," he said quickly. "You are slow, like a turtle, and I'm fast, like a rabbit. But I can wait because you're my friend."
Voices from the past. Have you ever wondered how we learn about the past, especially about things that took place on Earth millions of years ago? For example, how do we know about dinosaurs or any of the thousands of other creatures that were on the planet before humans show up? The answer to the question is one word: fossil. Fossils are the hardened remains of plants and animals that roamed the earth in the distant past. The word fossil comes from Latin and means digger, which is how fossils are found. Sometimes a fossil is simply a footprint left behind by an animal that walked on Earth in the prehistoric era. Sometimes it's a creature's entire body, and sometimes it's just a single bone or tooth, but always it's a sign from long time ago, evidence of what life was like in prehistoric times. Perhaps you have seen pictures of fossils or viewed them in a museum. The earliest fossils date back more than 4 billion years. Fossils have the same sign and shape as the original animals or plants. As a result of major disasters, such as sudden changes in the environment, plants and animals die without warning. One moment, they were going about their lives, eating and breathing, and the next, they were covered with sand, water, or ice. Over a period of thousands of years, some of these creatures slowly fossilized and turned to stone. Thousands of these fossils lay undiscovered in every corner of the earth. Only a few have been unearthed until the early 18th, when a young English girl and her father spotted something strange in the sand as they walked along the seashore at low tide. At first, they had no idea what they had found. They decided to dig it out of the sand and take it home. News of their discovery soon spread, and scientists began to visit them to examine the strange objects. They were finding buried along the English coast near their village, like voices from the past. The newly discovered lake began to unlock the mystery of what life was like in prehistoric times.
When the sun and the moon disappeared, in the pre-scientific age, humans understood nature in a way that seems strange and foolish to us in the modern world. Without the benefit of high-tech instruments, they were unable to fully understand what was happening around them. Ignorance could lead to fear. Nowhere was the fear greater than when train events such as eclipses of the sun or the moon occurred. Today, we know that the sun and the moon move in a regular pattern. Sometimes the Earth's movement between the sun and the moon. When this occurs, the Earth blocks the sunlight, and we can see the Earth's shadow on the moon. The moon gets dark, sometimes black, sometimes a scary color. There is nothing strange at all to our modern mind. It's simply a lunar moon ellipse. When the moon moves between the Earth and the sun, it blocks some of the sunlight. As the moon travels in front of the sun seems to disappear. There is a solar sun ellipse. When the moon, sun, and the Earth are positioned in a straight line, the sun is completely dark and the Earth gets very dark. There is a total solar ellipse and it's red. It's easy to see how this strange event frightened our ancestors. The word ellipse meant to devour or to eat something. Long ago, humans believed that the sun or the moon was being eaten. This was true would really be a reason to be scared. Imagine how would you feel today if you thought that the sun was going to disappear forever. Think of all the humans standing outside the window of the day. The sun's glowing through dark days here for an hour or more. This would certainly scare the daylight out of you. Something wild like light. Today, science helps us understand strange occurrence. When we understand something, we no longer fear. You can easily go on the internet, find out when the next lunar or solar eclipse will happen. You can even go out and watch one.
Tea, the drink known around the world. Water is the world's most popular drink. However, tea is a close second. It is consumed by people all over the world, and it easily outsells the other two popular drinks, coffee and cocoa, consumed in almost every country. Tea inspires rituals and brings friends closer. From its accidental beginnings in China nearly 5,000 years ago, this amazing versatile hot drink has traveled around the world. Accepted folklore has it that the Chinese Emperor Shennong discovered tea by accident in 2737 BC. One morning, as he was working in his garden, the small leaf tripped down from a tea tree and fell into his drinking bowl. The emperor took a sip from his bowl, and the rest, as they say, is history. Early on, Japanese monks visiting China developed a fondness for tea. They brought it back to Japan, where it soon gained a place in the social custom of the time. The Japanese did not immediately begin to grow their own tea. Instead, they relied on imports from China. However, by the 12th century, tea was being cultivated in Japan. The Chinese ambassador to Russia gave the Russians their first taste of tea in early 1600s. But it wasn't until the end of that century that a booming tea trade was established between two nations. By the middle of the 17th century, tea had become popular in Europe. Initially, it was treated as a medicinal drink. It was thought to be a good for digestion, for calming the nerves. A pivotal moment in the history of tea in West occurred in 1662 with the marriage of a Portuguese princess to the King of England. Although tea was already being consumed in small quantities in England, it was not until Princess Catherine came to England with her love of tea that things really began to take off. For the next 300 years, tea and high society were linked. Tea has come of age since that fateful morning when Emperor Shennong first tasted it. There was no way he could have known how his warm drink would travel to distant lands in the coming century.
Oil, a liquid that dries our cars, heats our homes, and provides much of our electricity. It's found in every imaginable product. It's often referred to as liquid gold. In its refined state, it's called petroleum, which literally means rock oil. The long journey of oil from the source below the Earth's outer crust to the fuel tank of a car begins the prehistoric times when the Earth was covered in water. Small marine life died and fell to the seabed, slowly accumulating on the muddy seabed. There was no oxygen in many of the accumulating layers, so the material did not break down completely. This allowed much of the decaying material to change into carbon and hydrogen atoms. This process repeated itself many times over millions of years. More dead and dying materials accumulated on top of the previous layers, forming the new layers in the rock. After millions of years, the rich seas began to recede as the earth dried. Additional land-based organic material decayed and went through the same process.
All that was needed then was the addition of heat, which came about as the result of pressure exerted on the material by its fuel. Heat and pressure increased over thousands of years as the weight of the layers built up. This changed the material into a gooey substance called carbon, which later changed into crude oil. This crude oil began to trickle away from the source rock to varying depths below the surface, until it became trapped in the reservoirs where it lay dormant for millions of years. In the 20th century, humans began drilling deep into the earth to find this crude oil. It is now shipped to refineries where the gooey material is transformed into a valuable commodity it is today. Gasoline is still the crown jewel. In fact, half of every barrel of crude oil is turned into gasoline. The remainder is further refined and ends up in many consumer products, completing a process that began long before humans roamed the earth.
I can swim, but I'm afraid of putting my head under the water. My brother is a good swimmer. He's teaching me. Take a deep breath of air and hold it, he says. Now put your head under the water. I take a deep breath. I hold it, and I put my head under the water. I'm doing it. I'm under the water. I can open my eyes. I see lots of fish. I don't feel afraid. I have a great teacher.
Somewhere over the rainbow, you are playing outside on a rainy afternoon. The day clears and the sun breaks through the clouds. If you are lucky, a beautiful ball of light will spread itself out across the sky. Look up and enjoy. You are witnessing one of the wonder nature rainbow. In the West, others teach young children that there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Most kids believe them. They look up at the perfect arc of light, almost like a road on which they can walk, and they dream of one day finding that pot of gold. It's a nice story, but rainbows really aren't that mysterious. They are simply what we can see when the sun rays pass through drops of water. The light is reflected and bent as it travels the wet air. As light bends inside the raindrops, it comes out the other side, appearing as all of the color of light: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. The top band of light will always be red, and the bottom band will always be violet. There is no way to predict exactly when a rainbow will appear. However, if you see a rainbow, one thing is certain: the sun is shining in one part of the sky, and it is raining in another part of it. Here's something else that's always true about rainbows. They will always be in front of you, and the sun will always be behind you. Do you know that no two people see exactly same the rainbow? Suppose you and your friends spot a rainbow. You stand beside each other and marvel at its beauty, but each of you is seeing your own one of a kind rainbow. Why? Easy. You are seeing light reflecting off one group of raindrops. Your friend is seeing lights coming through the different raindrops because she is seeing them from a different angle. One last thing, if there really was pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you would never be able to get there and discover it. As you move toward a rainbow, it moves away from you at the same speed.
Fishing trip. One warm Saturday morning, Grandpa decided to take his granddaughter Mary fishing, but she didn't have a fishing rod. "We will make one when we get to the pond," said Grandpa. And off they went. Grandpa carried the pond while Mary carried the worms. When they got to the pond, Grandpa cut a branch from the tree, and he tried to string to it and put on the hook. Then Mary put on the worm. "Now you can fish," Grandpa said. Soon, Mary had caught 3 fish using new fishing rod. "These fish aren't good for eating," said Grandpa. "They can be my pets," said Mary.
They don't like living bones, explained Grandpa. They will be died very quickly. I don't want them to die, said Mary. I guess I'll let them go. Grandpa smiled. When it was time to go home, Mary dumped the fish back to the pond. Mary smiled and she watched the fish swim away.
Wow, it's me again. There should be a really big present for the one who knows exactly what is what for each track in this series. Thank you very much for enjoying us. And now, it would be definitely great of you to give one like and one share for our team. Thank you and goodbye.